So if you're a young man in the self-improvement space and maybe you're meditating or journaling, you're trying to get into these good habits, if your goal is to become a successful masculine man, it's really no debate that one of the core pillars of doing that is having financial freedom that isn't linked to your time or your location. So if you've been on or you want to be on self-improvement and you want to know how to start actually making money online, I have something to introduce to you. You may know what I'm about to say from the likes of Iman Gadzhi, or maybe Hamza has mentioned it, and it is the agency model. But before you click off this video and you say it's saturated or fake or anything like that, like a scam, just hear me out, okay? By the end of this video, I guarantee you that you're going to be with me and you're going to agree that it's probably going to be the best business model for you to start. So what exactly is the agency model? What am I talking about? It's basically a social media marketing agency where you niche down to one specific market. So maybe that's gym, med spa, chiropractic, home renovation, solar, right? I mean, the list of niches basically goes on forever. And you provide to them a service that basically gets them more money than what they put into it. So obviously they're going to pay you for that, right? So this could be paid ads on platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, TikTok, anything, or SEO services, content creation, anything really in the digital marketing space. And to put it really simply, this model works. There's success stories from all around the world, from Australia to America to Vanuatu to Nigeria to France, everywhere, okay? You can do this at anywhere, anytime, at any age. So I want to go over the 3 pillars that really make this business model the best one in the online space, especially for young men on self-improvement who are just starting out and just trying to make their first dollar. Okay, so when it comes to running an agency, there's really 3 main reasons why it is the best thing for you to do, especially if, as I said, maybe you're a beginner or you've been on self-improvement for a while, and you've got your habits started, you've got, you're meditating, you're gratitude journaling, going to the gym, that type of stuff. When you're actually looking to make a pivot into starting to learn how to make money and starting to actually make money online, which should be a big goal of yours, this is probably going to be your best bet, okay? So 3 reasons why. Number 1 is really the unitary gain. And so when it comes to pricing, we want our product to be a high-ticket item, okay? High-ticket items are products or services that have a large cost to purchase, but are really valuable to the person buying. Unlike lower priced products or services, you pay for all the time and are seen as commoditized or invaluable, right? So a lower priced product would be something like a bottle of water, for $3. It's just everybody's undercutting prices. Whoever took the lowest prices is the one that you're gonna buy, right? And then high ticket items are more valuable. So stuff like a bottle of water is commoditized. They're all the same. They're all just water, and it's just whichever one is the cheapest. So it's just really a race to the bottom. And then higher ticket items aren't based on they're not commoditized at all. They're purely value based. Okay. So for an example, a Bugatti, like 2.5 million. It's more about the value, and obviously with the Bugatti, the value that you're getting is obviously how good the car is and the status that comes with that car, right? And so when we are selling things online, we want to be selling Bugattis, not water bottles, okay? Because we need to, in order to make a lot of money, we need to charge high ticket prices. We need to have an offer that is value based, an offer that isn't commoditized. Because when we are a commoditized offer, it's really just a race to zero. And it's a perfect example of that is short form content. If you're just doing short form content as an agency, you're like a water bottle. Like short form content is just it's the same as just water. Like the skill cap isn't really that high, so eventually it's just going to be a race to the bottom. And then the short form content is going to be predominantly dominated by third world countries like the Philippines, India, Pakistan, who can afford to ask for $50 a month, where obviously big short form content agencies just can't do that. Yeah. So prospects won't bat an eye at $2,000, $5,000, or up to $10,000 monthly retainers. And yes, that is monthly, okay? Meaning that the payment recurs every single month. So that means you right now, as a complete beginner, could be 1 to 2 sales calls away from making $10K a month, okay? With an offer like this, if you have the right paradigm, the right mindset going into it, which you already have an advantage with self-improvement, you could be a few sales calls away from making that larger amount, okay? Because we want to be a high ticket offer, obviously for our selfish reasons of making more profit, but also so we can provide more value to our prospect and make our prospect more money. Okay, so that's the first one. There's crazy amounts of unitary gain. I think that average SMA pricing, if you have it set up properly and you're in a niche that can afford it, which you will be, your average pricing is going to be around $2,500. Okay, so that is number 1. Let's go to number 2. Okay, so number 2 is demand. Now, there's a very common misconception that SMMA is saturated, and I'll actually go over why this fake saturation that a lot of people are talking about is actually a good thing later in this video. but I want to go over how the demand works and how the supply works for SMMA. Because a lot of people talk about, the demand and supply charts, but I feel like most of the people who talk about it don't actually know what demand and supply is, and don't actually have a foundation of understanding economics, okay? So this is your demand and supply chart. This is price, this is quantity, this is supply, this is demand, right? And this point here, where supply meets demand, is equilibrium, okay? And equilibrium just basically means where the market averages out, where supply and demand meet, and so this is where how much quantity is demanded and how much quantity is supplied is equal, and this gives you a price point, right? So this is basically what a regular equilibrium would look like. At this price point, with this quantity of demand and supply, right? And so, if we're doing social media marketing for local businesses, which is what 90% of people are doing, you have to understand that demand is incredibly large because these businesses are not really tech adept, they don't have a lot of experience, but I'm sure, as you guys know, the power of Facebook ads, TikTok ads for a gym, for a chiropractor, for a med spa, for any one of these local businesses is unprecedented. If you can set up a Facebook ad system for the solar niche, where you can guarantee them 15 deals per month, that's worth $100,000 plus. Then, okay? 15 jobs for a solar panel company is $100,000 plus. So the demand, even though SMMA is very popular, Iman Gadzhi has like 3 million subscribers. There are a bunch of big SMMA gurus out there. It doesn't matter. And until there's as many SMMAs as there are local businesses in the world that have the problem of client acquisition, there's going to be only then will it be saturated, okay? And that's not going to happen basically ever. If you walk around, you see 100,000 like local businesses in your city, right? It's never going to happen. So this is where a normal equilibrium lies. But then for SMMA and for marketing services for local businesses, the demand is really like up here. We'll call this demand 1, right? So the demand is up here, right? So you can see the quantity supplied is so low of marketing services compared to the amount of local businesses that are up there. And then because of that, that means that this, also it's actually up here now, this is wrong. It's up here, right? So this is the equilibrium for SMMA. So the demand is extremely high, but the quantity supplied is extremely low. But what that does mean is the pricing is very, very high. You can charge a very, very high amount, right? Because the supply is so limited and the demand is so high. This demand goes all the way up here, up to the right. The demand is so there's so much demand, such little quantity supplied, meaning you can charge a lot of money for it. Okay, so this is a really key important thing to keep in mind. There's not really a lot of other business models that are like this right now, and this is really like what you would call a golden market. Like it's a perfect market to be in because there's so much demand, such little supply, so it makes complete sense for you to charge up here. And then this range up here is that $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 per month retainers, right? That's what up here is, and that's what equilibrium is. Okay, so what people expect from you because of the limited supply is going to be that $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, right? So it makes complete sense to charge them for that because that is what the market asks from you. So number 3 is profitability. Okay, and so before we kind of understand how the profit margins work, I just want to break down exactly what your expenses are going to be and what your revenue is going to be. Okay, because that's obviously how we define profit. And obviously, typically your expenses are going to be more than this. But if you want to go bare bones, absolute minimum, you can survive with this stuff. Okay, so Go High Level is $30. Actually, no, it's not. That's actually a lie. It's $9.70. $9.70 for the first 60 days. Okay, and the way that you do this is you get your 14-day free trial, and you apply for an extension on that 14-day free trial, so it becomes a 28-day free trial. And then on the last day of the free trial, you apply for the payment plan. And so your first month at Go High Level is only $9.70 instead of $97, okay? And Go High Level is basically an all-in-one marketing software, marketing agency software. It's specifically built for marketing agencies, and it's all in one. It's got everything you need. Okay, there's a link in the description for it. Full transparency, I make money off of that. But the only reason I would ask you to use it is because I genuinely believe in it. Okay, I've been using it the entire time that I've had my agency. And then the next one is you need a software to send contracts. I use Dropbox Sign, which is paid, but you can use PatentDoc, which is completely free. And then for your outreach and just for your operations in general, you're gonna need a mobile phone and a laptop or PC, which it's a prerequisite to most online businesses. So I'm just gonna assume that you already have these two. Zoom, I use the paid version of Zoom because with the free version, your calls can only last 45 minutes. So if you have a prolonged period of objection handling or anything like that, then your call's just gonna cut off your sales call. But you can use the free version if you can wrap up your calls quickly. Then you can use the free version, and a domain, right? A domain to make your website if you want to make a website, or just a domain to claim your domain for your business name. $10. Okay. So free, you already have it. Free, $9.70, $10, right? So expenses for your first 60 days in business is about $40, which is crazy. As a startup, having only $40 of expenses is absolutely crazy. Most businesses, like most startups that you see, have expenses in the hundreds of thousands, right? $40 for your first 60 days of business is absolutely insane, okay? And the average pricing, as you guys know, the equilibrium is so high up that the average pricing in the market is so sky high, right? So the average pricing is like $2,500 per month, right? And that's me being pessimistic. And so let's say you suck and you only sign one client in those first 60 days, right? Maybe you're lazy, you're not doing your outreach, you only sign one client. That's at a minimum $2,500 if you sign them in the last 30 days of the 60 days, right? So let's say on the 59th day you signed one client, which is terrible, right? If you're using our processes, you should be doing a lot better than that, okay? But let's say you only signed one client. You put in $40 and you put in some hard work and you made $2,500. So your profit margins are 98.4%. So of that 2,500, you take home 98.4% of it, okay? And if you were to sign two clients at $5,000, your profit margin is going to be like 99.6%, because there's no extra expenses. There's no COGS. COGS is cost of goods sold. There is no cost of goods sold when it comes to SMMA, okay? So every single extra client that you take on is pure profit, okay? And then obviously after the 60 days, Go High Level is going to be more expensive, and maybe you want to switch to, Dropbox Sign like I use. You want to get the more expensive version of Zoom, but your expenses are never really going to go over that $500 to $600 per month mark, right? And even with $1,000 in expenses, right? Let's say your tech stack is $1,000, which it's not going to be. It's rarely ever going to be $1,000. Signing one client is going to make you 2.5x. If you sign one client, you're completely fine on expenses for 2.5 months. So the profitability of this business model is absolutely insane, because all it requires is you and your hard work and your dedication. So for the first 60 days, you pay $9.70 on Go High Level, and then you spend $10 on a domain. So I was actually wrong here. Sorry, it is $19.70. $19.70 for 60 days. So this is actually wrong. This is probably going to be more like 99.4. Right? So if you don't want 99.4% profitability and profit margins, it's probably more than that, then don't start this, okay? And so these are basically like the big core three reasons. Unitary game, very, very high ticket. It's a golden market. There's crazy amounts of demand, meaning you can charge high ticket, and there's incredible amounts of profitability, okay? And so what I want to do now is I want to destroy the biggest limiting belief that you have. Because you've probably seen this. You saw this, but you're like, I guess it makes sense, but like, I still hear all the time that SMMA is saturated, okay? So I'm actually going to go into a Google Doc explaining why saturation is actually a good thing and how it's going to benefit you and how you're going to make money from saturation, okay? So I'll see you there. So this kind of myth of saturation, because that's really what it is. It's a myth. Saturation is a myth. I'm gonna explain why. It's really just a hope for people who did put in the work and failed. Okay, so in the agency space, saturation is looked at as being a bad thing. People fail with their agency and use the excuse of my niche was too saturated or ads don't work, they're saturated, shit like that, right? This couldn't be further from the truth. Okay, saturation is a good thing. I'm gonna zoom in here. So first of all, let's just out of these two dots, right? In the circle, we have a blue dot and a red dot. Out of these dots, which dot stands out? None. Right? They're the same. There's one blue dot and one red dot. They're the same. They're just a different color. None of these particularly stands out, right? Now, I think you see where I'm going. Out of these dots, which stands out? Obviously the red one, right? When you have saturation, you can make something that truly stands out to your prospects. Look at the difference. This is a blue ocean niche. One blue dot, one red dot. You know, it's whatever. When you have extreme saturation, if you change your offer to something that nobody else is doing, you're gonna stand out so much, okay? And this is the thing that people don't understand. Niches don't saturate. Offers saturate, right? No niche. Remember that's the demand and supply curve? Every niche is in extreme demand for acquisition services. But when they've been hit by the same offer, you know, if you go into the med spa niche and you just use Thomas Garnett's cold calling script, that cold calling script and that offer has stimuli entropy. That offer is technically saturated, but the med spa niche in general is nowhere near saturated. Okay, it's nowhere near it. There are still med spas out there who want to make money through Facebook ads and want to do acquisition services online. So the niche is not saturated at all. But the blue offer is saturated. But if you can come into the same niche, the same circle, with a different color offer, with the red offer, that's how you're gonna make money. Okay. And the cool thing with this is, when there's extreme saturation, all you need to do is stand out a little bit, and you'll be successful, right? In this one, which one stands out? They're both, like for this one, obviously the red one is much different. For this one, they're all blue. One's just a different shade of blue, and this one still stands out so much. Okay, so don't be afraid of saturation. Okay, welcome it. So look at this. This versus this versus this. Saturation of niches is a good thing. You want to be in a highly competitive, saturated niche. That's where you want to be. Okay, and because all you need to do is stand out a little bit, and you're gonna get a crazy amount of clients. Okay, and so I remember when we went over profitability, I was talking about Go High Level, and I feel like a lot of people don't actually understand what Go High Level is and how it actually works. So the next video I'm gonna make is actually basically a full guide on how to use Go High Level. Okay, so if you'd like to, if you want to see more content from me and more valuable stuff similar to this, like this, subscribe to whatever you want to do, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm basically just going to be going over a full guide on Go High Level and how to use it for your agency. Okay, so I'll see you there. Bye bye.